Hey yo, what's up guys? Mr. Kydrix here again, doing another video for you guys today. Thought I'd do something different from my usual videos on my channel. Figured I would talk about some obscure items that I have in my collection that I don't really do videos of, and that is going to be on my Dalek figures from the series called Doctor Who. Now these figures right here are made by the company called Product Enterprise. They release a lot of Doctor Who merchandise around the early 2000s, and one of their popular toy lines had to be the Dalek toy lines. They had these bigger remote control Dalek figures based off the ones seen in the TV shows and movies. And we had these medium scale Daleks that had sound effects by the push of a button. And then I think they made smaller scale ones, though I could be wrong. And I think these were the figures that came out before Product Enterprises had the rights to Doctor Who merchandise. I am not too sure if that's correct. Please do not quote me on that. But these are the three that I own, since they were the only ones that I can find, and pretty much from the ones that I liked. And these three are the sound effect Daleks from that range. Now these ones are pretty different from the ones that Product Enterprises made. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, here's a Dead Planet Dalek made by Product Enterprises. As you guys can see, this is pretty much your standard kind of Doctor Who Dalek figure that you get nowadays. But back then you had these Dalek figures here. Now they're all pretty much the same, just different in color and sound effects. These two in the back right here, the black one and silver one, have the same exact sound effects, whereas this one in the middle is the only one that I have so far that has different phrases. So we'll only be taking a look at one of these for the review, since again they're pretty much the same. And we'll be taking a look at this Dalek here. So first off, I would like to cover the articulation, since it's all the same on each of these figures and it's pretty standard for a Dalek figure. First off, the head can move. It can only go left and right about this far because it houses electronics inside the head, and that could break the electronic feature. The eye rod can move up about this far and then down about this far, so it can look down at its opponents. Then we have the plunger arm, which can move on a ball joint and can also rotate, as well as the gun that can also move and also rotate. It's got 3 wheels on the bottom, but it's not like the character options Daleks where it has a rotating wheel right here to allow it to move around. It pretty much just has the normal back and forth movement, but you know, with a regular surface you can rotate it as you wish. So yeah, pretty much has a standard articulation as a regular Dalek figure, albeit limited with the head. Now as far as detail goes for these figures, the detail is pretty basic to how the Daleks looked in the classic series, and it's got all the essential details needed in order to match how they looked on screen. To give you guys a closer look, here we have the eye stalk. There's the pupil right there. Now the pupil is actually just painted on there instead of being sculpted like how it is on figures nowadays, where they sculpt the pupil on it to make it easier for paint, and just adds to more realism, as that's what the props had. But yeah, on here it's painted on, or it could be a decal, I'm not too sure, but you can see the molding line down the middle, which kind of detracts from it, but from afar you don't really notice it. You guys can see the rod on here. Now to me this kind of feels short, like the rod for the eye stalk, just to me at least, because it does kind of feel longer on these more modern figures. I don't know, just to me it looks a bit short. Could be wrong, just could be me. We have these discs going right here. It's got 5 discs that are painted blue, which looks really nice. Here's the dome with the Dalek. It's got some damage right there. And then we got the dome lights, which has some circular detail on the inside. Now they are a bit yellow. I'm not too sure if it's because it's due to age or if that's how it's supposed to be, because on all 3 of my figures it's kind of like got this singed look to it. So it could be that's how they were made, or again just with age. I mean, these are old. I mean, we're talking 2000s. As much as we want to face it, early 2000 was a while back. Now on the neck there's not that much detail. I mean, it has the essentials like the brackets running down the head and then the accurate set of rings going around here. But the mesh detailing where the actors inside of these casings would have seen out of is not really shown there. I mean, it's not really a big bother to me unless you're going for hardcore accuracy, which you shouldn't get these figures at all because they're not really that accurate in any way. But in my opinion, it does look pretty good. Then here on the shoulder region we have these slats running down with these bolts, then the mesh that runs through the middle of each one. It's not painted, just the lights giving that effect, but it's pretty effective. Looks good. Here's the plunger arm, which is a little bit warped on mine. Kind of generic for plunger, but then again, there's not really that much detail to it anyway. The part where it would have extended on the prop, And here's the plunger itself. Again, not much detail, it's a bit dusty, but these things have been sitting in a bin for a while. The gun on here represents the guns seen more on the Daleks from the early series where they had the discs running through here. These would not be seen later on during the series. And it's got this protrusion that comes out right here, and then the smaller protrusion to make the end of the gun. Here we got the oval down the middle. I can't quite remember when this started showing up, during which era the Daleks appearance, but they have the detail right here. It's on all three of them for a pretty specific reason. We have this detailing with the bolts running around here, and it's nicely painted as well. Here's the skirt of the Dalek with these hemispheres going alongside. It's got the accurate sets of 4 on each panel, as you can see. And here we have the fender along the bottom, which not much detail, but all in all, gets the job done pretty well. And you got the wheels along the bottom, the speaker port for the sound effects, and then the copyright information right here along the bottom. Now, one of the coolest features on these figures was the fact that it came with lights and sounds. Now, normally we usually get sound effects on some Dalek figures, and some of them would have the lights and sounds gimmicks as well, usually with a remote control. But on these ones, they were kept on the figure itself, and they were activated by a button. Now, the button that activates it is the oval right here in the center of the chest. And that's pretty much why all these Dalek molds have that oval. As I said, that's not really an accurate detail, especially for the Daleks that were meant to represent the ones from the early parts of the series. But I'm pretty sure they didn't want to make a completely new mold for that and just decided to keep these molds. And that's why a lot of these aren't really accurate to the ones that appear on screen. But anyway, back to the feature. All you have to do is push the button right here in the center, and it starts letting out some phrases.
Exterminate! You are an enemy of the Daleks! Daleks rule supreme! Destroy the Doctor! Seek, locate, annihilate!
That's pretty cool. Some show accurate sounds. As you guys saw, the dome lights right here do light up. They light up a red color, which not really accurate. I mean, that was mostly what we saw on the Peter Cushing movie Daleks, but it still looks pretty cool, at least in my opinion. Now, a lot of these Dalek figures did come with the same sound effects. As I mentioned before, this one has the same sound effects as this one, except a little louder.
Seek, locate, annihilate!
And all their film lights lit up red. This one, however, has different sound effects. And again, they're activated the same way.
Locate and destroy! Don't do not roll! You will obey! Exterminate the Doctor!
Now, I'm pretty sure that last sound effect was supposed to be an extermination sound. And it's pretty much the only figure that comes with it. These two don't make that sound effect at all. These figures did come out in multiple different colors, some of them being based off of what was seen on the TV show, while others were painted randomly just to differentiate them from the other Dalek figures, so there was more of a variety. These two I have right here seem to be based off of ones seen in TV shows. This one appears to be based off of the early Daleks seen in The Chase all the way up until Evil of the Daleks. I say that because of the slats right here. This Dalek right here is based off of the Gold Supreme Dalek that was seen in Day of the Daleks, albeit a little inaccurate. This Dalek, however, I don't know if it's based off of anything. It's definitely not something from the TV series because I didn't see anything like this. The only Dalek that I know from the TV series that looks similar to this had silver on it instead of this gold. Gold you mostly really saw on the Daleks from the Peter Cushing era, but there was no Dalek as far as I know on the TV show that looked like this, unless it's based off of a comic design, or if it's just one of the ones that they recolored to look different. I don't know. I really can't say much. I'm not too sure if it's based on anything, but it does look really cool, I will admit. It does got a cool paint job, and out of the three, I have to say my favorite one has to be this one. I mean, I do love these two, but this one, I guess it just, I don't know, maybe it's because it's black and it's got gold on it, which looks really nice. Maybe it's just because it's unique, because it's not really based off of anything. I don't know, it's just, it has to be my favorite. It's the one that I have on my desk. I just like it. It's my favorite out of the three, I must say. There is a version of this that has silver on it instead of the gold, which looks more accurate to the one seen in the TV show series. So I think that's probably the reason why they made this one with the gold details on it, just to kind of make it look different from that one, since that one was probably released before this one. But if you're on the hunt for any of these, you're gonna find these in multiple different colors. I've seen a few of them pop up on eBay from time to time, and they do come in different colors. But majority of the times, the one that I see commonly online are this one, and then the one with the silver on it, as well as this one. This one I rarely ever see come by, and the chance that I did see it, I decided to buy it since it's based off of the Day of the Daleks one loosely, and that's another one of the Dalek designs that I like, so I decided to get it. Another cool and unique trait about these figures has to be their size and the material used to make them. These things feel more robust and are taller and bigger than the Dalek figures that we get nowadays. Just to give you guys an idea of what I'm talking about, here's a comparison to the History of the Daleks Dead Planet Dalek figure. As you can see, they are much bigger than the figures we get nowadays. And as I said, the materials on these figures definitely feels high quality. Like on this figure, the plastic is pretty good, the quality is definitely there. It's just some parts do feel brittle, like the little dome lights and the eye stalk and the plunger arm. I did have a few of these break in the past, whereas on these ones, they're made of a harder rubber and are a lot more thicker, so they definitely won't break anytime soon. But again, it's up to your preference. If you want more Dalek for your buck, definitely get these ones, as I do definitely think they're worth it with how they're made, the size of them. If you're going for accuracy, definitely go for the character options ones since they're more TV accurate. Unlike these ones, like I said, which are pretty much the same, just different colors. But in my opinion, I definitely like these Daleks a little more than these ones. I still have a fair share of these, but these ones are definitely the ones that I like. Just again, like I said, due to their size and quality. And for a few more comparisons, here's the one from the Dalek Invasion of Earth set. This is more so of like the bigger scale Daleks in the sets, but as you can see, these ones are taller than even this one. Here it is compared to the Genesis Dalek figure. Again, just showing you guys the size difference. Here it is compared to the early figures that Character Options made for the modern Dalek designs. And here is the remold of the modern Daleks with Dalek Sec. Again, as you guys can see, they're still bigger than the 5-inch standard Daleks. And to give you guys another idea of their size, here it is compared to my favorite Doctor, Patrick Troughton. And again, much bigger than your standard figure. So overall, these figures are great in my opinion. I love the size and quality to them. The paint jobs, although they may not be accurate to what we see on TV, are definitely great in their own way. The articulation is basic, but it's pretty standard for a Dalek figure. And the lights and sound gimmicks on these are pretty cool. I highly recommend getting one if you can find these for a considerable price. If you were to just get one, I would say definitely be on the lookout for this gold one. But if you want something more unique, definitely go for this one. But if you want something more classic, definitely get this silver and blue one right here since it represents those Daleks. But all in all, these figures are great. Let me know down below if you have one yourself and your opinion on it, whether you agree or disagree with me. Just comment down below what you think of these. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for being patient with me while I try to come back on YouTube. And definitely look forward to any videos that I'll be uploading in the future. But until then, stay awesome, guys.